Welcome back, everyone. It's now time for another edition of the Sunday Sit-Down, and joining us is our lovely friend, Coach Dawn Thornton, head coach of the Lady Bulldogs at Alabama A&M University. Coach, how's your summer going?
It's been going pretty good. Thanks for having me. This is my first time here. This is awesome. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Let's get down to business. You've been a very busy coach and mom and community activist during the summer, but you've got some big things coming up later in the summer, like your camp that'll be coming up very soon.
Absolutely. 4 years ago, I put on a free basketball camp for the community just to be able to have opportunity to give back. During COVID, a lot of parents couldn't afford to do activities for their kids as they were trying to get back into working and what that looks like for them. So just having them to give them some financial relief, and we're going to do one here in Huntsville. We had one last year. We had about 70 kids, but I want to be able to see at least 200. We're preparing for 200 kids to be on campus, and we're doing free haircuts, we're doing free backpacks, school supplies. We just want free food. We just want to be able to give back to the community and have a great time.
Let's get a date for that.
August the 3rd from 9 to 2.
You've also been very busy and active in my home state of Louisiana with the Essence Fest, being part of the Beauty Con. Talk about that experience and how in the world does this even happen?
You know, honestly, I got an email and a representative from L'Oreal reached out, one of a mega beauty line in the United States. And they reached out and said, hey, we having a panel. Shakar Richardson's nail tech is on the panel, a few people from L'Oreal, and it's play the game, get the look. And so we're really excited about that. And I mean, it's just it's an opportunity. I just knew that I was going to be able to represent Huntsville and A&M.
Awesome. Speaking of Alabama A&M, you stepped onto the scene. You were working from day one for your 2024-2025 season. Best season overall in the Division I era for Alabama A&M. I didn't end the way I know you wanted it to end, but I mean, what are some of the highlights that you enjoyed about that season?
You know, we did a great job in the preseason. I think we made history with the most wins in the preseason history. We beat North Alabama at North Alabama. And that was really wonderful for us also. You know, we were able to host Alabama, you know, from down the street here this past season. So that was monumental for us. And then we did a great job in conference and finished overall 21-11, having an opportunity to play in the postseason, which has never been done. I would think that besides winning a championship, we checked a lot of boxes this past season.
You talk about that University of Alabama game at the Event Center. I mean, by far, I've been covering it for a number of years, and that was one of the packest crowds I've ever seen for a women's game, let alone a game just in general. And then you said after the game, Christy Curry and yourself had some very positive words to go back and forth amongst each other. Considering the fact that you've faced SEC foes and Power 5 foes at home, is that something we can look forward to in the future?
You know, I've thought that having an opportunity to bring a P4 school on our campuses, on HBCU campuses, is something that a lot of people think that it's impossible to do. And I think that that's the reason why it's such a big announcement, right, you know, when you're talking about it. But that is something that I've been passionate about doing. You know, as long as I'm here, you can always expect some type of surprise of that. So we may have somebody come. We may have somebody coming up here to the Rocket City soon. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, look, I know for sure we can confirm this. You want to keep regional things going. Talk to the folks over in Florence. University of North Alabama will be coming over to play in the Event Center this year. Can you talk about how big of a situation that is for North Alabama's two Division I teams to keep playing each other?
Well, we want to keep the camaraderie here in Huntsville, too. Anytime we get an opportunity to bring a team that's in our backyard on our campus, that's always good PR for everyone, you know. Being able to give them an opportunity to see the event center, that's something that we're really, really proud about. You know, I think that we've done a phenomenal job with building that and what we're able to do and the capabilities of that. And we want to show off a little bit. We got some stuff we should show off.
Your point guard, Kayla Walker, last year, man, she did some amazing things for this team and being recognized an all-SWAC performer. And the best thing about it, she's coming back for another season. What does she bring to this team that kind of helps elevate your squad to heights that they haven't seen in a while?
I've never coached a kid like Kayla Walker. She's a phenomenal person, great young lady, and she's a 100% whatever you want me to do, whatever you need me to do, Coach, I'm going to get it done. And what you see in her now wasn't always her role. She started off just as a role player, a past first point guard playing next to Zay Green. You know, right. What does that look like? But she understands how to step it up, and I know that that was something that she really and truly wanted to do this season, having a new start coming to A&M. So she's stepped up to the plate and definitely been able to fill some big shoes for us.
You mentioned Zay Green. She's the former player of yours at Arkansas Pine Bluff, played her last season at the University of Alabama, got drafted in this year's WNBA draft. You've got to be very proud of the line that she has created for herself when it comes to success.
Zay has done a phenomenal job as far as making a name for herself. She's written her own story, which has been wonderful for her career. And she's still doing some things in the community as she's trying to find herself and, continue to play professionally. And so it was a pleasure being able to coach someone like that, and watching Kayla play along with that was just a blessing to be able to coach.
Indeed, and look, I can't forget about Alicia Wilson and the job that she was able to do, especially since she was one of the holdovers from Coach Richards' era over to your era. Got a chance to play in that HBCU All-Star game. When you look back at the career that Wilson had, both as being on your team and also a competitor, what do you think about her and how she has basically set a legacy for herself for Alabama A&M?
I don't take that lightly, because anytime you have a kid that chooses a university, chooses a school, and then comes back and stays with the new coach,
right?
You have to take that serious. And I really was intentional about the relationship that Alicia and I had. I think she did a phenomenal job this year. She stepped up and really did a lot of great things that she always wanted to do. And so just having the opportunity to just coach her was a blessing. She did her thing. She definitely did.
Now, Lady Bulldog fans didn't get a chance to see a lot from Karaya Beck, but you and I talking off camera, she's good to go for this upcoming season. What are we to expect from this young lady, and how will she elevate things for the Lady Bulldogs?
Karaya will look a lot different from what you all have saw last year. Karaya is a 3-level scorer. She is looking to put the ball in the basket. And not necessarily selfishly, because at one point she led us when we were at UAPB in assists also. So she's capable of passing the ball. However, this kid can flat out score the ball. And so a lot of times down the stretch, last season I felt like we just didn't have a player that could say, hey, I'll take that shot.
Right.
Give it to me, get a ball to me. It is definitely Karaya Beck. So she led the conference when we were at UAPB, first team all-conference, preseason all-SWAC player. Last year just didn't play, but she's going to have the event center really excited. I know she will.
Awesome, awesome. Coach, when we look at 2025 and 2026, one thing I think that's a holdover from the previous year was the fact that the ladies got their own night on that Thursday night. How much did you like it as a coach, having that opportunity to showcase the young ladies on one particular night in prime time?
Well, I thought that with the way that women in sports is evolving, I think it's time to try to put us on a platform to see what that looks like. We want it to be big, of course. We want to be able to take advantage of having our own night. And I thought we had a great crowd. I think the numbers really was numbering, like the young folks say, right? The numbers are numbering. But it was really good. I thought we had a great crowd. They were committed and getting there early. The Bulldog fans and everybody, they've just really embraced this women's basketball program, so it's been good.
Big news in college athletics recently, the house settlement things. I know the SWAC opting in to the house settlement scenario, but when I talked to Dr. Paul Bryant, he was like, man, every school's gonna be different. But he also said that he and his coaches, like yourself, have already been talking about things in that manner. How do you feel like this is gonna impact Alabama A&M moving forward?
Well, we wanna be able to compete on a high level. It's bigger than what our conference offers as far as just playing in the conference. We wanna be able to put a name for ourselves on the national stage, right? So in order to do that, we have to be able to compete with them and be able to get those same resources and financial support, to be able to get those type of athletes here. And so I think that we have started the trend going in the right direction. We're bringing those kids in with the new rev share and all of that stuff. And so we are trending in the right direction in order to see success because of these opportunities.
All right, I'm going to really get you out on here on this one. It's still early, but your young ladies are working. What will Lady Bulldog fans be seeing this upcoming season from the ladies on the hill?
Big energy. Big energy. That's our motto. Everything that we do, we want to make sure that we're doing it at a high level. And that means bringing the energy, bringing that intensity and that tenacity every single day. We're getting after it right now. The girls are, and they've embraced it. the challenge, all of the new faces that we have with Karaya, with Mo Davenport coming back, with Kayla Walker. You know, I think that we have enough in the cupboard in order to have some success. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing your young ladies on the basketball courts this upcoming fall with Alabama A&M. Once again, that'll do it for another edition of Sunday Sit Down with the one and only Coach Dawn Thornton. We'll be right back here on Fox 54.